Guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about a palette that I saw in Walmart that caught my eye. It is from Black Radiance. This is the Brilliant Effects Tribal Bright eyeshadow palette. There are 12 shades in here. I looked it up because I wanted to be sure if Black Radiance was Black owned, but it is not. It's just the products are marketed and designed for women of color. I really liked the packaging and the artwork on the front. And then the color story was really pretty too. You have a mirror on the inside, like graffiti around the mirror. Then these are the 12 shades. I did do swatches, and I will have to say, just right off the bat from swatching, none of the shades swatched very well. They weren't very vibrant or pigmented. One thing that I would expect from a palette that's marketed to women of color, especially when it's marketed towards women of deeper skin tones, is you would expect that these shades would immediately be intense and bright and vibrant, and in the swatches they weren't. I'm hoping that's just an issue with the swatches, because you know swatches are not always indicative of how the shadow is going to perform on the eyelids. So I'm hoping that when we put together a look, it's a little bit smoother, it's a little more vibrant, it's a little, you know, more bright and brilliant on the eyelids. But you know, let's go ahead and jump into the palette and see what we come out with. If you enjoyed the video while you're watching, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. If you're new to the channel, you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you consider joining the family and hitting subscribe. And also make sure to tap the notification bell so you get notified of videos coming up in the future. You can also follow me on my other socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All of my links will be listed in the description box below. Alright, so let's give this formula a try. I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyelids with my Milani eyeshadow base. While this sets down, let me go ahead and tell you some of my makeup details. For my blush, I am wearing the Color Flush Liquid Blush from AOA Studios. This is from Shop Miss A. This particular formula is so nice. It just blends in so beautifully, and it blends perfectly over powder. It's $1. Absolutely love it. It's one of my absolute favorite liquid formulas. And for my blush, I'm wearing the AOA Studio Glow Baby Liquid Highlighter. This is absolutely beautiful as well. I'm currently testing out the Profusion Feel Good Skin Longwear Skin Perfector. It has hyaluronic acid, medium to full coverage. The shade that I'm wearing is Tan 3 Warm Yellow. I'm not quite sure what I think about this formula. This is my second time wearing it. Still playing around with it. Still kind of testing it out. I will let you guys know in the future what I think about it. Currently, at the moment though, it's not my favorite foundation formula. So let's go ahead and test out this eyeshadow formula, and we're also going to be testing out the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara. I've heard a lot of good things about this, so I'm going to go ahead and test this out in this video as well. So I think I'm going to start off with Amplify, which is this bright blue in the corner, and then we might go into the yellow shade, which is called Blazing, and just kind of do a blue, green, yellow sort of a gradient. Let's start with this shade. Like I said, when I did the swatches, they were kind of powdery, they were patchy, wasn't getting a whole lot of pigment from them. Let's see how this plays on the eyelid. I'm gonna pack this right here in the outer corner and then just start blending it into the crease. Yeah, so far I am definitely not getting that pigment and intensity that you would expect from a palette that's marketed to women of color. You see all that patchiness? Yeah, there is not a lot of intensity here. There is not a lot of pigment. I'm definitely having to go into the palette a few times just to really build that color up. And yeah, that's disappointing. When you have a palette that's marketed towards women of color, especially women of deeper skin tones, you want that shade to be bright and brilliant and pigmented and impactful the second that it touches the eyelid. And as you can see, not much pigment going on, pretty patchy. Someone that has whose skin is deeper than mine, this is not going to be showing up at all on their skin tone. We're just going to put together something really quickly. I'll be filming another video with my daughter after this. Our Daybok box came. You may have already seen that unboxing. Just depends on the order these videos end up going up. I ordered the newest Nomad palette, and according to tracking, it's out for delivery right now. So as soon as that delivers, I'm going to grab it And I'm going to film with that tomorrow. So it really just depends on my filming schedule the next few days. But so far, yeah, I am so not impressed with this formula at all. I'm just taking a little bit of that same blue and bringing it down to the lower lash line. Taking some of that Blazing Yellow shade onto Blend Bunny 3, and we're going to sit that in the inner corner, on the inner part of the eye, and just softly blend that into the blue. I mean, I see it on the eyelid, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of intensity or brightness going on with this one. Same thing with the blue. I'm having to go back into the palette multiple times to really build this up. Like on camera, it looks like it's really bright, but in person, it is just like super patchy. You know what it feels like to me? What it reminds me of? Chalk powder. I feel like I am putting colored chalk powder on my eyelids. Colored chalk powder, that's just not something that you want to be putting on your eyelids, but that is exactly what this is reminding me of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Limelight, which is this teal, green, blue shimmer right here. This one, and this one, I know for sure are all shimmers. I think there's one more in here, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm definitely going to wet the brush because when I did the swatching, they did not swatch very well at all. They were not creamy, they were not buttery, they were not rich. So definitely going to wet the brush, and we'll see how much impact I get by applying it that way. A decent amount of pigment on the brush, and it does look pretty bright. I'm going to spray with my Bolero Face Mist. I like to use the spray specifically for wetting my brush for shadows. Okay, all right. That definitely helped to foil the shadows. So it definitely feels creamier than it did in the swatch. It's definitely shinier. That's actually really pretty with the wet brush. All right, with these shimmers, you definitely want to apply with a wet brush to get the most payoff. Just because I'm curious, I'm going to go into Go Bold, which is this really deep green up here. So this is also a shimmer, and see what it looks like wet. Do you see that? Going straight into it with a brush, nothing is hardly anything is coming off onto this brush. Like I really had to press into that shadow. I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to take it onto my hand. I want to see what happens. Wow. Do you see that? Absolute wow. Look at that. Absolutely nothing is happening. Wow, that is very disappointing. There isn't anything brighter in this palette that I can use as an inner corner highlight, so I'm just going to take the smallest Blend Bunny brush, go into my Glow Baby, and just gently tap that into the corner as my highlight, just to add a little bit of brightness. This is my first time actually using this as an inner corner highlight, but it's working decently well. All right, so I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to throw on my liner, put something on my waterline, put something on my lips, and then we'll come back and we'll try out the mascara and give my final thoughts on the palette. But I think you guys can pretty much guess what I think about it. So for my waterline, I used one of the Colourpop Cream Gel Liners. This is Aglow. This is from that Lush Life collection. It's just a really pretty metallic green. And I did my wing using the eye marker in black from LA Colors. All right, so let's try out this anti-gravity mascara. It's supposed to be long wear, smudge proof, and clump proof. Let us put that to test. I've been wanting to try this formula for a while, so I grabbed it from Ulta during my last haul. I'm going to go ahead and give my lashes a quick curl. So that's what the brush looks like. Looks like it's kind of like the plastic bristles, and then there's like it's smaller in the middle, kind of like an hourglass shape almost. Let's go ahead and see what this mascara does for my lashes. It says it's long wearing, clump free. What it's supposed to do is give your lashes lift, and it's supposed to hold. I'm going to use my hand mirror so I can actually see what I'm doing. It's definitely giving me separation and length. Definitely not seeing a whole lot of clumping going on. It's not my favorite mascara wand, but it is doing a good job of separating and lifting. I will say that. Alright, so that's after the first coat. What do you think? I think it actually looks pretty good. I'm going to let it dry for a second, do a second coat, and then we will check back in. Alright, so that's coat number 2, and I have to say I'm liking how it's looking. I'm not getting a whole lot of volume from this formula, but I'm definitely getting length. It is holding my curl, and I'm not getting a whole bunch of clumping. So far so good. I will definitely play around with the formula. What I'll do is, if I can remember, I'll drop a pinned comment down below letting you know how well it actually held the curl throughout the day, because that's one of the things that it's supposed to do, is actually hold your lashes in place, so we'll see. As far as this palette is concerned, I was not very impressed. Like I said, with the swatches, they were powdery, they were patchy, they felt kind of dry, like chalky was kind of what the texture kind of felt like. Formula was just not good at all. And when you're marketing an eyeshadow formula towards women of color, especially women of deeper skin tones, you want these shades to be vibrant and brilliant and bright and pigmented right off the bat. The second they hit the eyelids, as you can see just from those mattes, there's not much pigment going on. I really had to build up just to get this intensity. There is no way these shades are going to show up on a woman that's much deeper skin toned than me. And that's very disappointing. Now this palette was only $6.99, and there was actually like a $2 instant coupon, so I paid $4.99 for it. One can say, well, you get what you pay for, but I have eyeshadows from AOA Studio, as well as some other brands that are between $1 and $10 that are beautiful. Blend like butter, pigmented, smooth, creamy. I have no issues with. This formula was very disappointing. The shimmer, this one was nice once wet. This one right here, nothing. I mean, even when I wet the brush, as you guys could see, nothing. There was no payoff in that shade at all. So if all the other palettes from Black Radiance, the formula is like this, I hate to say it, but I think it's something that you can skip. It's definitely not something that you need to have in your collection. At least, not for me. Once again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.